Everyone has moments in their life when everything changes, when everything they know is shattered and shifted, when life takes a new course, changing us in the process. I remember the day my life changed vividly. I hadn't been well for a while, but I thought nothing of it. A few days turned into a few weeks, and I began to get worried. When I finally went to the doctor, nothing could have prepared me for what I heard. He told me there was something wrong with my blood, but all he could do was tell me. He didn't know what was wrong, so he didn't know how to fix it. I would have to live with this illness. There are no words to describe that devastation. I looked to loved ones for comfort, only to find that I had been abandoned by all I held close. Even strangers looked at me like I was disgusting, like I was the dirt underneath their shoes. For years, I prayed that God would either heal me or take me home. And years, I have lived with no answer. I remember the night I just came to my breaking point, and I screamed at God. Why me? Why me? Why am I still here if I mean so little? If I died, it would make no difference. That was the night I decided I couldn't live that way much longer. But the next morning, I awoke to so much noise. I went to my window and I looked down to see hundreds of people. I looked to the center of the crowd and I saw someone surrounded by men in almost a protective manner. I knew there was something different about this man, and something told me to go to him. When I finally made it outside, I could hear what the crowd was saying. They were shouting, "Jesus, Jesus!" I had heard the name before, heard stories of this man who claimed to be the Son of God, performing miraculous healings. But before I knew what I was doing, I was walking forward. I had been let down so many times over the last few years that there was no trace of doubt in my mind. I began calling his name, but I was just one voice in the midst of thousands. I began to push my way through the crowd, but to no avail. A shove brought me to my knees. I looked up, and I could see his feet in the distance. I moved forward, crawling slowly, just ignoring the kicks and the trampling, until I was a little more than arm's length away. I stretched my arm out, but he was out of reach. I shifted slightly, and his robe brushed against my fingers. And just like that, my life changed again. I could feel the constant ache. It was gone. I no longer trembled, and I watched as the ashen color of my skin returned to normal. And for the first time in 12 years, I wasn't tired. I was so awestruck that I hadn't noticed the crowd had stopped. "Who touched me?" I heard him say. I could feel eyes on me, and I looked up. Some faces distorted in hate, others in confusion, but I could only focus on the one that was looking at me with a smile. He picked me up off the ground. He looked at me with gentle eyes, and he said, "Go. Your faith has healed you." And in that moment, I understood that fear and doubt, it could no longer have a hold on me. And his words still remind me daily that through my faith in him, it was and it is finished.